leading to canceled interviews and heated exchanges. Fans took sides, social media exploded, and now every move either of them makes is under a microscope. Kimmel has never shied away from poking fun at celebrities, but Stallone isn't the kind of guy to sit back quietly. With both stars doubling down, it was only a matter of time before things escalated again. And now, thanks to Stallone's latest comments, this feud has gone from simmering tension to full-blown Hollywood chaos. At a recent event, he spoke passionately about leadership, saying it's time for people to stop being afraid to speak their minds. While he didn't call out anyone directly, his words felt like a not-so-subtle jab at Jimmy Kimmel and Hollywood's tendency to silence differing opinions. This recent event I just mentioned was his speech at Mar-a-Lago. Sylvester Stallone introduced President-elect Donald Trump with a speech that drew significant attention. Stallone made a surprising move by calling Donald Trump the second George Washington. The statement lit up social media, with fans and critics going back and forth. Some praised Stallone for being unafraid to share his views, saying it showed real courage. Others slammed the comment as exaggerated, with some even questioning why Stallone decided to speak out at all. Fans who supported Stallone pointed out that his comparison was about leadership and resilience, qualities he's always admired in his work and life. But critics didn't hold back either. They flooded social media with jokes and memes, mocking Stallone's words. One viral post joked, "Maybe Rocky got a few too many hits to the head," while others called the statement Hollywood's biggest stretch yet. The backlash didn't stay online for long. Jimmy Kimmel picked up on Stallone's remark, turning it into late-night fuel. And from there, things got heated. What started as a single comment spiraled into one of the biggest celebrity feuds of the year. Because Jimmy Kimmel, never one to hold back, took aim at Stallone on his late-night show. "I guess those punches Rocky took to the head were real after all," he joked. But let's be real, this wasn't just a joke. It was a direct hit on Stallone's intelligence and his political stance. The audience reacted with a mix of laughter and awkward silence. Kimmel might have thought he was being funny, but Stallone's fans were not amused. Social media lit up with backlash, and suddenly, this was more than just a feud. It became a full-blown Hollywood spectacle. If there's one thing Stallone has, it's loyal fans, and they wasted no time defending their hero. Twitter exploded with posts supporting Stallone, praising his courage for standing up to Hollywood's groupthink. But of course, the critics came in just as loud, slamming him for his choice of words and questioning his judgment. You might know what happens next when all eyes are you. The media won't leave you alone. Although Sylvester Stallone is no stranger to controversy, his time, it feels personal. Critics are now digging into his past, questioning everything he has ever worked for. Why is it that they always are trying to wreck someone by digging into their past? Like, why? And some are saying his bold statement about Trump could overshadow his decades of work in Hollywood. It's wild when you think about it. This is the guy who brought us Rocky, a symbol of determination and grit. But now some are trying to paint him as a relic of a different time, someone out of touch with Hollywood's current values. The thing is, Stallone's fans don't see it that way. They're standing firm, saying this isn't just about politics, but more about freedom of expression. After all, if Rocky taught us anything, it's to fight for what you believe in, no matter how many people are against you. And right now, Stallone is living up to that mantra, both on screen and off. Back to Jimmy Kimmel. You might already know that his late-night ratings have been shaky for a while, and this feud isn't exactly helping. While Kimmel's sharp jokes have always been his signature, this time they might be backfiring. Stallone's fan base is massive, and many of them are calling for boycotts of Kimmel's show. Social media is flooded with hashtags like Team Stallone and Cancel Kimmel, and it's not just fans joining in. The backlash is spreading fast. Late-night comedy has gone through a big shift, and so has its audience. When Jimmy Kimmel first started, his humor was sharp but playful, a mix of edgy jokes and lighthearted banter. Back then, people laughed along, even if they didn't agree with him, because his humor felt balanced. But over time, his jokes became more pointed, often targeting specific people or beliefs in ways that felt personal. At the same time, audiences also started to change. Hollywood's viewers became more sensitive to issues like fairness and respect. And suddenly, what was once seen as clever now feels like an attack. What's ironic is that Kimmel's show used to thrive on big-name guests like Stallone. But now, by pushing away one of Hollywood's biggest legends, he might have just alienated a large chunk of his audience. If his ratings continue to drop, this feud could cost him more than just bad PR. It could cost him his career. Despite the recent backlash and declining ratings, there's no official word about Jimmy Kimmel being fired or his show being canceled. In fact, Kimmel renewed his contract with ABC in 2022, extending his tenure for 3 more years, which means he's set to stay on air until at least 2025. Rumors have swirled about potential replacements, with names like Tucker Carlson and Candace Owens being mentioned. However, these claims have been debunked and are based on satire rather than fact. Kimmel himself has hinted that his current contract might be his last, suggesting he could retire when it expires. He's expressed concerns about the future of late-night television, noting that the landscape is changing rapidly. For now, Jimmy Kimmel Live continues to air, but with the ongoing controversies and shifts in audience preferences, the show's future remains uncertain. Only time will tell how long Kimmel will remain a staple of late-night TV. Stallone isn't just sitting back and watching this unfold. His team is already working behind the scenes to counter the narrative. Sources close to Stallone say they're planning exclusive interviews and appearances on rival platforms to share his side of the story. Rumors are swirling about potential appearances on Joe Rogan Experience and Gutfeld, shows known for giving celebrities a chance to speak freely. This Stallone-Kimmel feud isn't the first time Hollywood has been split over politics, and it definitely won't be the last. Remember when James Woods got blacklisted for his outspoken views? Or when Tim Allen's hit sitcom Last Man Standing was abruptly canceled despite strong ratings? These aren't isolated incidents, they're part of a bigger pattern. And Stallone knows he doesn't need Jimmy Kimmel to reach his audience. While Kimmel might have pulled the plug on interviews, Stallone's team is turning this into an opportunity. Instead of relying on late with pop stars, Kimmel was busy lecturing his audience like a substitute teacher. Fans weren't laughing. They were grabbing the remote and running for cover. And the numbers? They don't lie. Ratings for Jimmy Kimmel Live have been dropping faster than Kimmel's punchlines. By 2023, the show hit a record low in viewership, even losing out to Greg Gutfeld on Fox. That's right, Kimmel is getting outperformed by a guy who built his career making fun of cats on Red Eye. For someone who once ruled the late-night time slot, that's like Rocky losing to a YouTube boxer. But this decline isn't just Kimmel's problem. Legacy media as a whole is losing its grip. Late-night TV, once the go-to for millions, is now the TV equivalent of a blockbuster rental, outdated and out of touch. Younger audiences have moved on to podcasts, YouTube, and TikTok. I mean, you're watching this video, right? I think that says enough. Meanwhile, shows like Kimmel's are stuck chasing the few remaining viewers who still remember dial-up internet. The Stallone incident might be the final nail in the coffin. Disney, which owns ABC, is reportedly rethinking Kimmel's future. Insiders say executives are fed up with the backlash, especially since the network is already struggling across the board. With Kimmel's contract expiring in 2026, the search for a younger, fresher host might already be underway. Let's hope Disney doesn't replace him with another lecturing comedian. Audiences can only take so much scolding. Stallone's rejection couldn't have come at a worse time for Kimmel. Fans see it as the moment karma caught up with him. "This is what happens when you put politics over people," one tweet said. Another joked, Kimmel thought he could mock Stallone and walk away. Turns out, Stallone threw the knockout punch instead. If Kimmel doesn't change his approach, his days as a late-night host might be numbered. For Disney and ABC, Stallone's stand might just be the wake-up call they needed, because audiences have already hit the snooze button on Kimmel's act. While Jimmy Kimmel scrambles to stay relevant, Sylvester Stallone is thriving. He's done playing by Hollywood's outdated rules. Late-night TV? It's ancient history for him now. Instead, Stallone is embracing platforms that value authenticity, like the Joe Rogan Experience and the Greg Gutfeld Show. The Joe Rogan Experience pulls in millions of viewers per episode. It's raw, unfiltered, and exactly what audiences are looking for. No scripted applause, no over-the-top laugh tracks, just real conversations. Stallone knows fans are tired of the same old Hollywood fluff. They don't want recycled questions and canned jokes. They want the real deal. And podcasts let him deliver just that. Take Greg Gutfeld's show, for example. His late-night program on Fox regularly beats traditional shows like Kimmel's in ratings. Yes, Greg Gutfeld, a guy who once made his living cracking jokes about cats, is now crushing a host backed by Disney. Why? Because Gutfeld knows how to entertain without lecturing. Stallone appearing on platforms like this isn't just a career move. It's a message. He's telling Hollywood, you can keep your scripts. I'm going where people actually want to hear me. And Stallone isn't the only one flipping the script. Zachary Levi, the star of Shazam, recently called out Hollywood's obsession with politics, calling it a creativity killer. He's not wrong. Who needs good storytelling when you can just insert a preachy monologue, right? James Woods, another actor known for speaking his mind, has also ditched legacy media. These stars are proving you don't need Hollywood's stamp of approval to stay relevant. The numbers back them up. Podcasts and independent platforms are exploding. Shows like Rogan's are dominating the digital space, while late-night TV is struggling to keep anyone awake. Younger audiences, in particular, have left traditional media behind. Why sit through a monologue when you can scroll TikTok for 30 seconds and get 3 laughs and a life hack? Stallone's pivot is a way to take back control. On a podcast, he can say whatever he wants about his career, his beliefs, or even his next project. No awkward commercial breaks. No producers whispering in his ear. Just freedom to speak without fear of being cut off or mocked. Try finding that on a legacy network. And if Hollywood doesn't like it, well, Stallone's already left the building. Stallone's stand shows that stars don't need Hollywood's outdated systems anymore. Gone are the days when actors had to smile politely on late-night shows or jump through hoops for studio approval. Now, they're finding new ways to connect with fans, on their own terms. And let's be honest, fans are loving it. Kimmel's loss isn't just his, it's a loss for legacy media. For years, Hollywood has clung to its old formulas, acting like they're still the gatekeepers of fame. But platforms like podcasts, YouTube, and social media have blown those gates wide open. Why sit through a rehearsed late-night interview when you can watch Stallone crack jokes with Joe Rogan for 2 hours? It's no contest. Take Stallone's recent pivot to alternative platforms as an example. Instead of wasting time with scripted questions and canned laughter, he's turning to podcasts where he can actually connect with his audience. Fans get unfiltered conversations, real insights, and, shockingly, no commercial breaks telling them to buy luxury cars they can't afford. Other stars are following suit. Zachary Levi called out Hollywood for being more obsessed with politics than storytelling, saying it's killing creativity. Meanwhile, James Woods, a longtime critic of Hollywood's agenda, has completely stepped away from legacy media. It's like watching a trendsetter in action. One actor takes a stand, and suddenly, everyone else is joining the movement. If Hollywood doesn't wake up soon, it risks becoming irrelevant. The game has changed, and Stallone's victory is proof. Hollywood needs to catch up, or it's going to find itself sitting on the sidelines, wondering why no one's paying attention anymore. Meanwhile, Stallone's out here proving that sometimes the underdog really does come out on top.